Hello everyone! Greetings dear Aristobads, fellow immortals and mortals yet to be claimed by the night. Welcome to this lady's humble abode. This video is going to be just 6. No mixing content, no nothing. Just 6. Before we start, I'd like to say a few things about the side stories of the characters. Apparently, they are not as stable to the game, and I realized a day before the end of Charlie's backstory event. So yes, I did the event, but I didn't record it because it was really late at night and I'm not living alone, so I couldn't really do anything about it. I would have to be loud and that wouldn't work. However, I'm not going to put it aside because, like I've mentioned before, I am interested in analyzing characters and side stories in this particular game. So I took some notes and I'm going to include what I learned from Charlie's backstory in it while analyzing her character as a whole. This will be more like a writer's kind of video, like a writer analyzing characters in reverse 1999. Of course, you don't have to be a writer to watch this video when it comes up. You could just be a fan of Charlie's and you would like to see how some other person reacts to their personality and their story or whatnot. But yeah, that's how I'm going to do it. I was planning to make such videos anyway, only after I've played the actual story with you guys. But yeah, since I missed it, now we're going straight for the analyzing video, I guess. Good thing is that now I know, of course, so when Oliver's backstory pops up, now I will know to play that first and then go for the 6 stars backstory. That's all I had to say about side stories. Let's get to the game. The Challenger. Let's see what 6 is all about.
A voice came from above and spoke to the man. An important thing will happen to you.
I wish you could see my face right now. Okay, I'm gonna calm down. I didn't expect this. Oh my god, look at him! Look at this baby 210! Oh my Dracula, this is so cute. Look at you! Oh. I mean, I should have expected it because most backstories so far, I think in every backstory so far that we have from 6-star characters, some characters appear, you know, as children. Even with 37 story, we saw both her and Sophia as a kid, but I didn't expect it. Oh my goodness. Why can't we have you as a playable character? Why? Excuse me, I'm gonna keep going. The lecturer is young and proud, standing like a newly sprouted grapevine growing upright. What will it be? The man asked. You will gain wealth, you will gain fame. You will walk in the garden of wisdom and happiness, the voice answered. Thus, until he died, he spent his life waiting for his fortune, and it never arrived. The lecturer walks from one side of the square to the other and unfurls scroll in his hands. The voice from above brought promises, a glimpse of his forthcoming fate. He believed in the promise, and in doing so, forged his own tragic end. She's sleeping? A soft containing cooing comes from the audience. Yeah, she's sleeping!
37.
37. The whisper fails to awaken the sleeping girl. You know what? I see why the whole beefing happened in her story now. They got history of antagonizing each other or just not thinking high of each other, I guess. After hesitating for a moment, Sophia reaches out and gently shakes 37. How evil of me is that now I kind of ship it. I'm so sorry. I don't know. I didn't expect this would come, but just like a flicker in my head just came like, what if, you know, 237? But no, this would have been bad for her. Like, bless her soul, she's such a cute and pure person, and this dude is just a prick, a Noel, an annoying Noel. I mean, okay, he's hot, but no. We want the best for our 37. This is not the best. Huh? What's happening? 37 rubs her eyes, lifts her disheveled hair, and looks around a daze. Has 210 finished his speech yet? Not yet, but you were sleeping so soundly just now that you were snoring a bit. I was worried they might hear you, and it doesn't seem polite to sleep during someone else's speech. Especially for 210, you know how much he enjoys delivering these lectures. He's always so concerned about whether he has the audience attention. Surely, though, it's worse to hinder others from acquiring knowledge like this. Trudge should neither rely on such rhetoric nor be so opaque in presentation. I fail to see how there could be any real knowledge in all this flamboyance. So you see, I'm simply lessening his sins. At least the rhythm of his speech makes for a fine sleeping aid. First she low-key calls him stupid and now she calls him boring. 37 is unhinged, fam. 37 yawns softly and leans against Sophia. Round 2. If the rhetoric about faith, path, and glory of self-selection continues to pour into the ears. 37 opens her eyes once more to see Sophia gazing forward intently beneath her red hair. Are you truly so rapt by this topic? I suppose I'm not sure yet. People have always cared about their fate, about what will happen tomorrow and the next day. I don't know my own number yet. I don't understand my essence, let alone fate. Sophia's gaze drops to her clasped hand resting in her lap. This lecture does make sense. Working hard and striving forward is obviously a good thing.
But
I feel like I still haven't found my way. I only just arrived here. There's still so much for me to learn. Sophia's voice is subdued, fading until finally reaching a whisper. She takes a deep breath as if to revitalize her spirit and lifts her eyes to look at 37. What about you, 37? Aren't you curious at all about your fate? Now you're boring her too. 37 breathes out a steady huff. Circle is not the greatest prime number. Obviously she needs sleep, and she's especially adept at falling into deep slumbers. 210's impassioned rhetoric is apparently so tedious to her that she can't hold her eyes open even another moment. When the man lay sick in bed, he cried up the voice from above, asking, "When will all that you have promised finally arrive?" The voice from above scorned him, saying, "It is already come and gone, only you never sought it out." So the man lamented his cowardice, his idleness, and all the fortunes he had lost.
I hope.
That's why we should be vigilant about our fortunes. We must keep our vision clear, listen to our own voice, and not stagnate waiting the promises of others. His voice is way deeper than mine, so there's no way I can go anywhere close to it. I'm trying to do young boy right now. Shorter. If we succumb to cowardice or complacency, even gifts promised to us by fate can slip away. Human innovation and knowledge come from courage, a thirst for truth, and constant curiosity. It is for this reason that we must forge our own paths and control our own fates. He raises his hand high, and the future rhetorician begins to emerge. As he makes his eloquent speech, a pile of seashells amasses before him, one by one, representing the audience's support. He is satisfied, but not completely.
Well,
Fate, yes, and as we're discussing fate, we cannot ignore the fate of those sitting among us. Our star of hammers fell upon fate at birth, bringing us hope for enlightenment. We could let her speak to show her light hasn't diminished, but it seems sleep has taken hold of her, preventing her from shining. Okay. He called her out. I see. It's on. 210 turns around and points abruptly to the other side.
but
Fortunately, there are still those among us who can represent the inevitability of fate. He extends his hand palm up, fingers forward in an inviting gesture. The crowd disperses like startled fish, revealing a young man.
my friend,
Come, Atticus, my friend, he who will receive the revelation. Oh, wait. Oh, no. No, I won't mix it with mythology right now because I know I don't remember things well. It's been a long while since I did Greek mythology, so Greek, not just mythology, like analyzing kings of the ancient Greece and how things were done. But it's interesting that 210 has his number already, whereas Atticus is probably 6 and still hasn't found his own number. You are destined to become the perfect number, to receive all the wisdom and all the promises due our future leader, of appearance. Yeah, it is 6. Don't let silence swallow that light. Please articulate to us your views about fate and share your wisdom. I'd like to mention it here, even though I said I will give you a full opinion on what I think on 210 when I'm done with chapter 5. But as much as he is a know-all, he invites people to speak. Like even with 37, even though they don't see eye to eye, he does want to listen to her. And while his Star of Hermes nickname, I guess, does show that maybe he's a bit, how do I say this? I don't know how to express this, but I don't think that 210 doesn't believe in 37's abilities. And even though they disagree, I mean, he sees she has wisdom in her. But there is a bit of a rivalry, a bit of jealousy, I guess, because he knows she's special, but their approaches on matters are very different. So he will do anything in his power to be proven right and prove her wrong. But deep down, I think he knows that 37 will always be right about bigger matters, you know, not just small problems like in her backstory. But yeah, I think because she's special, he feels pressed. Right here, it appears that he's very straightforward. I don't see any irony from his part as he calls 6 here, because he knows he's destined for something big and he supports it. I guess we could take this the wrong way too, like he's trying to be nice to him because he knew he was going to be a leader, and therefore it's always good to be close to the leader, you know, be liked by the leader, so that perhaps you get things easier. Not that 6 is this kind of person, I don't think he is, but like based on the reality, I mean. But no, I think this is straightforward. He seems supportive of 6 here. And I think he's supportive of 37 in some way, but because of his ego and he's wanted to be always on top, he feels the need to go up against 37 in a way. Anyway, let's keep going. The young man given the prestigious title does not stand out in the crowd. His gaze slides over the inviting hand and rests on an empty spot in the air beside it.
I think otherwise.
This is your speech, not mine, 210. My goodness. Man, even as a youngster, he looks so tired. I wonder why. I wonder if it's just him having, you know, droopy eyes, because some people have droopy eyes without there to be a reason. Or if he's really tired because of something.
But
surely no one understands fate better than you, our perfect 6, awaiting the arrival of your fate every moment, every day. The young orator holds the moment with anticipation. Yes, if anyone deserves to show wisdom comparable to his own, it would be his present target. He greedily seeks the arrival of what he manages to be an evenly matched debate. Oh. Okay, keep going. All eyes move to surround Atticus. Accustomed to being invisible in a crowd, he attempts to turn slightly as if to escape the challenge and the weight of their gaze. I know that feeling, my dude. Atticus doesn't seem so happy. What is this revelation that 210 is talking about? Oh, nothing important. Just a lot of nonsense. Our leaders are supposed to receive a special revelation when the soul numbers are revealed. It's a sign of a 6's succession to leadership, like the Oracle of Apollo in Delphi. The commotion must have disturbed his sleep, or perhaps it is the peacocking of the orator that awakens.
You have a point.
It all sounds incredible. Are you saying they can hear the voice of the gods? Or is this something about numbers? The redhead, still new to the island, seems in awe. However, 37 thinks it's no big deal.
But
the leader's number has always been 6, so there's nothing new about this revelation. We already know the outcome. 210 uses far too many meaningless words. Why not just call him 6? You mean call Atticus 6? But isn't the 6 that person?
Certainly.
Oh yes, Atticus hasn't received the revelation yet, but he will be 6 eventually. It's in his destiny. I don't really know about that. The young man's voice grows louder, interrupting the distant whispers. How can that be? You are number 6, we all know. You will become number 6 and possess everything a 6 should have. Infinite wisdom, supreme vision, a sharp mind, and the poise of a leader. Since you inherited the bloodline of a prophecy, your revelation has been predestined since your birth. It's even more clear than a voice from above. See how similar you are to the person in the story? You both heard the prophecy, and you both know your own fates. What do you gain from it? And what did you hear? It is a bold challenge. A verbal challenge from a proud peacock to the island's future leader. You didn't throw your seashell. I want to know why. Perhaps you can illuminate some of your even hidden thoughts. Yeah, here it could be a little bit of irony, a little bit, because it just showed us he wasn't satisfied that 6 didn't throw a seashell, and like, weren't you pleased by what I said? What better wisdom have you got to share? Like, come up here and do it better than me, I guess. But he sees him as a challenge, like, I think 210 sees him as an equal and admires him in a way. I don't know, I find his approach against 37 to be more hostile than with 6.
I hope.
My friend, it is through the clashing of minds and the debate that we can gain a deeper understanding of one another. I pray you will share. He threw it. His speech is interrupted by a crisp clattering sound. He looks down to see a new addition to the seashells at his feet. His hoped-for opponent gently tosses his challenge aside along with the shell. 210 cannot read anything other than humiliation in the shell. You misunderstand, 210. I have no thoughts on fate. Atticus finally meets his gaze.
I don't have an answer to your question.
I see. Okay, part 2 of Trudge in the Long Night. A bottle. That time, we parted on poor terms. After a long while I grew taller, the hem of my dress had risen from my ankles to my calves, and Atticus and I brought up that avoided debate again. Atticus. When I found Atticus, he was, as usual, wandering alone on the beach. I always found him there early in the morning, so if I needed to speak with him, I would come here at the same time.
Good morning.
Good morning, Sophia. He's so precious, though. I don't know. He was bringing a stranded fish back into the sea. As it flashed from his hands, he gave me a smile.
Good morning.
Of all the people on the island, Atticus was the one I could communicate with the easiest. It wasn't anyone else's fault. Apeiron operated on its own set of rules to maintain stability. It was always going to be difficult for an outsider to break into their tight-knit community. But my visits to the beach were not just to see him. Are you here to collect your sand again today?
Yes.
The fine sand here is ideal for polishing lenses. My father's eyeglasses are just about ready. His eyesight has been deteriorating more and more. I hope this will help. Maybe it's because of my father's health. I feel more upset and sensitive than usual. This is not a good time to confide. This morning, he woke up and asked me why it was still dark. Hadn't the day arrived yet? I worry that the glasses won't keep up with his decline, or perhaps that they were never going to help him. And yet you still made them. I'm pretty sure it is a declarative sentence, yet I sense his confusion inside, more confusion than in any question. But I'm not always right, especially on this island, so perhaps I'm imagining things. Awkward. I stopped speaking, knowing that sharing my worries over my father will do nothing to lessen them. The sea breeze blows over us. Each seagull's cry is distinct and loud. Now, I have to mention this because, I know, I can't shut up, but listen. Sharing your worries definitely won't lessen any problems, but it's really good for your psychology, so please, if you have any worries yourselves, please find a person to confide them in, because it's good for your psychology. Like, keeping them in your mind and spiraling over them just makes things worse for you. Sure, it won't give anything to the problem, it won't give a solution, but it will make you feel a little bit better, just a little bit. And if you're so shy or you don't want to be a weight to somebody else, which Okay, if you find the right people, you're never away, let's be real. But if you feel that way, at least take a piece of paper, write everything that worries you down, let it out of your head. Anyway, you want to speak it out, you want to write it down, you want to draw it out. Anyway, please, any way possible, you can please always take your worries outside of your head to give yourself that space to breathe. Okay, I'm shutting up now. Let's keep going. In the school, such unusual quietness often causes an uneasy feeling in my heart, anxiety. But now, despite the silence between us, my breathing is even. This peace of the moment feels comforting. And that's what makes a good leader as well. You're not supposed to feel fear around your leaders or, anxious. A person that makes you feel comfortable is a good leader, in my opinion at least. Time passes in hours as the sunlight reaches overhead near its zenith. At last, Atticus stands up. Are you leaving? Yes, it's nearly lunchtime. Huh? But it's still early yet. Are you hungry? No. He shakes his head slightly, a bit uneasy. I need to go early, or there won't be any quiet spots left. He just doesn't like crowds, my girl. I realize now why I rarely encounter him on the other roads I walk. Why don't you sit with us? Is it because of 210? I ask softly, then immediately regret it, realizing that my inappropriate question would only cause awkwardness. Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to... Panic occupies my mind, and I struggle to come up with a suitable excuse. No. Atticus's response surprises me. He gently shakes his head.
I think otherwise.
I'm not specifically trying to avoid him. As if sensing my guilt, he smiles. Before 210 was 210, he didn't look kindly on me. Of course, that has to do with his competitive nature, which I never minded. Oh, I see. Okay, so yeah, he's being kind because he's supposed to be their leader. Yeah. Now he sees him as equal. This is the thing. I think 210 doesn't pay attention to people that he thinks below him. That's why he said he wasn't looking kindly on him before. But now that he knows his potential, not only as a leader, but also want to gain great wisdom, he's suddenly equal and competition as well. I see. I wonder now why he is like that, though. I don't know what kind of family he's been in, or I don't know. Nobody gets born competitive and mean and degrading others is what I'm trying to say. But interesting, that shows that's why he's nice to him now. Then he became 210, a number easily factored. And while everything that came next feels terribly predictable. Maybe he's also bored of the situation because he perhaps sees things before they happen. 6. He looks down at the sun, then lifts his head again. I know why you asked, Sophia. Please don't take it too hard. That speech was just a trigger. Our interactions have always been like this.
Yes.
I try to remember the debate that came out of nowhere. I don't quite understand. When I first arrived here, you took such excellent care of me. And you, 21037, grew up together as friends. But then, after your debate with him... I was young then, and I was flippant in my behavior. I provoked him, given his character. I knew he would take it as humiliation. Also, what we saw first was younger than they were even younger. Now they're a bit older. I see. It was my decision, so I must accept the consequences of it. But that wasn't a debate, Sophia. You didn't want my point of view. Atticus's voice and manner are as calm and cool as a sea breeze. His description of his conflict with 210 feels more like it came from a distant observer. I know him, and I know myself. We think differently. He is not in need of an exchange of ideas. Also, he didn't bother because he knew that no matter what he said, 210 was going to combat it. He was looking for an opportunity for a live battle of minds, I guess. I could put it that way. There's another way to put it, And it was very common for rhetoricians in the past. Like, they would come up and provoke each other, and each one would say their own opinion, and this exchange, because, you know, they would have different opinions, would be interesting for people to watch. So yeah, he was trying to make a show of the whole situation, I see. In fact, he's not at all interested in what I think. He just wants a victory, yeah.
Yes.
He is competitive. His tone remains even, almost emotionless. An exchange of ideas like that is purposeless. Each side will stick to their own opinions, vainly trapped in position. In the end, there is no mutual understanding. It only further reinforces their own defenses. He sighs, the confusion surfacing again. I've tried and tried. People always step into the same river over and over again. Facing this inevitable end, any action at all seems futile. I'm not sure what to say. His words hold merit, but I somehow feel... Before I can utter another word, Atticus asks me a pointed question. Sophia, you're smart. You know enough about your father's health. You also know those glasses won't be of much help to him. Why do you choose to struggle so much against the path of fate? It's an offensive question, and I feel at first I should be uncomfortable with it. But I know it's different with Atticus. His confusion is genuine, not mocking or cruel. Yeah, it's what he knows, like 37. He responds to only what he knows. I rarely have the opportunity to mentor others on this island. The whole thing is unfamiliar to me. I don't know. I regret my response. It is too hasty, too dismissive. In fact, I have the real reason clear in my mind. When my mother was dying of her illness, I felt so powerless. I know I don't want to experience that a second time. I have to do something, anything. I take a deep breath, trying to gather my scattered thoughts. You're right, Atticus. Even with effort, we can't avoid the inevitable.
But I think we can't just sit around and do nothing about it.
I'm with her on that. The inquisition in his eyes is piercing. I feel suddenly I have to explain it in their way. Preparing for the inevitable is like preparing a psalm for a morning class. Practicing and familiarizing oneself with upcoming difficulties make it easier to face them. I feel I don't often, or rather I lack the time to really consider meaning. Sometimes the quality that allows us to face our fate isn't necessarily courage, it might just be the fear of the truth. Perhaps I'm destined to forget that lengthy psalm. Perhaps there's nothing I can do for my father. But preparing for what must come is better than doing nothing at all. But giving hope to others must be done in the name of courage, if nothing else.
And just think.
If a glass bottle on the table is destined to fall, I would put a cloth on the floor around it, so even if the bottle does break, the mess will be easier to clean. I turn to look at Atticus. He's frowning, as if pondering my words. Atticus, you don't actually want to answer that question, do you? I speculate on his thoughts, and this is also offensive. I've heard from 37 and others in the school about this revelation. I don't understand what it is exactly, but they say it's a gift of fate. More like a curse. Like, imagine knowing everything before it happens. Obviously, you will find no more meaning in your life after that. I mean, yeah, I suppose being a leader would give some meaning because you're trying to put people in the right mindset, I guess, and guide them in a way that supports their fate. Like prepare them for something inevitable, or guide them through difficult times in a way that meets the expectations of their fate, I guess. Anyway, just like that voice from above, the revelation promises all the wisdom of the world to the 6's of each generation.
But
I try to express everything I feel. Do you fear it? I don't know. His voice is so faint that the worlds almost feel illusory, like a false memory. Then it begins to roar.
If this gift is from the above,
And it never asks for your own desires or cares about your existence, can it still be called a gift? See?
so we really have no choice but to kneel before destiny. begging for its love and mercy.
Don't make me pull for him. I have no wishes left. Seriously. Atticus's hand trembles slightly. I'm surprised by the rage and intensity in his voice. I've never seen him so upset. The people of the island are generally reserved due to their intelligence. 210's an outlier, but Atticus's words are still sharper. Maybe this is a perspective he held back from the debate. So I turn away from the table. I don't want to see whether the bottle is teetering. Atticus finally looks at the fine sand in my hand. But I think you're right. I only remember that at the end of our conversation, he came towards me with a kind of expression in his face. That expression was like a smile, yet also like sorrow, perhaps relief, a face filled with determination.
Thank you for the long talk, Sophia.
Thank you for telling me all this, Sophia. And thank you for listening to me, Atticus. We said goodbye as we did countless times before, not affectionately, but also not quite distantly. I returned downhill to my home to continue making the lenses I knew would never be of any use to my father. I went uphill to his home, back to the brilliance of the current 6 in his supreme wisdom.
Goodbye.
Aww. I don't know why I said goodbye to Atticus. He turned back, nodding his head in acknowledgement. After that, I've never seen Atticus walking on the beach again. He began his long retreat. He wants to change fate. I believe that Sophia is a source of hope for 6, and I think that even in chapter 5 later on, maybe what Vertin is trying to do is going to also be some sort of hope for him. Because, like I said, knowing things ahead makes you lose hope in everything. Like, you see death coming, you can do nothing about it. You see something good coming, you already know it, so you don't have the opportunity to be surprised by the good things or whatnot. So seeing people like this, like Sophia and Vertin, that try to go against fate even though they know that some things could be inevitable, is like a breath of fresh air for 6, I believe, the way he's portrayed so far, I mean. So now his expression makes sense because it's not boredom. His expression gives me more I'm done now that I think about it. Like, I'm supposed to get this revelation. I'm supposed to know everybody's fate, but I cannot change said fate. So it's depressing. Like, I get it. An oyster shell.
Hey!
It's time for us to go. I took a deep breath and adjusted the grapevine on my head, trying to make it look as symmetrically as possible. In my youth, the third weekend of each month with an even-numbered date was the happiest for me.
Well?
Let's go. I'm ready. It was a day of speculation when the 6's coordinator invited the island's finest youths to talks. They would not overlook me, just as a girl collecting shells on the beach wouldn't miss a pearl-scent oyster. The usually bustling square is deserted, and I, along with a few other students, pause outside.
Please wait.
One moment. Let me inquire about the situation. It seems the Storm of Hermes is in need of some sleep. You ought to keep an eye on our time. That's a number as well. On the time, sorry. At least, time is counted in numbers. You like numbers.
No.
I can see everyone's number, but I never said I liked all numbers. He doesn't like your number.
I hope.
I hope you're about to see. Guys, I was shipping even more stuff. Huh. Irrelevant to my likes and dislikes, 210 is simply a poor number. It has 4 prime factors, it lacks a solid base, so it's prone to deformation like a rhombus.
Well,
it has no
surprise.
We know prime numbers are born unique, standing like the cornerstones of all others. Composite numbers are slightly inferior, like frivolous and fast-decaying painting. Why bring out all the prime numbers and composites numbers? We're just talking about 110. I don't understand your methodology. And I don't understand why you always call me the Star of Hermes. Is it because Hermes is the thrice greatest and he has his 7 Hermetic principles?
But...
I'm 37, not 3 and 7. They're not the same conceptually. You shouldn't make such a fundamental mistake in your understanding of numbers. It is hardly a pleasant chat. My relationship with 37 has never been harmonious. But we've grown accustomed to this bantering tete-a-tete, always attacking each other. That's just how we interact. She just accepted it. You know, you could just be kind and she'd be kind to you. Like, why do you accept this? The familiarity of it all breeds contempt, as we walk down the same old paths, arguing over things we've debated hundreds of times. But it is on these familiar paths that a moment of boldness can make the most change.
Sorry.
You two might have to wait a little longer. 6 isn't ready for you yet, but she won't need much time. You can follow me to the gazebo under the grapevines to sit in the shade and wait for your meeting. So it's just the 2 of them? Damn! Her first time being late in all these years. 37 follows 6's coordinator, moving at pace towards the vine-draped gazebo. Meanwhile, my steps are hesitant. My thoughts have become a mess. Is our leader ill? The unease from the anomaly spreads in my mind. Everyone on the island knows the leader's health is in irreversible decline. Excellence often invites the envy of fate. The lifespan of each 6 has been lamentably short. Atticus's mother, the previous 6, left this world when he was still young. Oh. Then the current 6 received the revelation, becoming the new leader of the school and, of course, in my opinion, the finest leader. 6, perfect, balanced, and harmonious, she explores a form of forms and traverses the hidden figures of the universe. One night I wondered, how many more times would I be able to converse with her? So filled with a wisdom, a unique understanding, bold hypothesis, and the courage to seek out the new and novel and not be complacent. She deserves all her respect and adoration. Maybe we can go back and visit her again when she's feeling better. I'm willing to make time for this discussion, whenever it may be. Emotions lead to rashness, and rationality is associated with calmness. I've ignored the coordinator's expression, his lips mumbling like the tide coming in and out on the shore.
No.
It's not because of that. You two rest here. When it's time for the meeting, I'll let you know.
Oh.
All right.
Fine.
I suppose I can take a stroll here while we wait. What a pity. It's not in season yet. If it were, we could have picked some grapes to eat. 37, did you hear something?
Hmm? Certainly.
Yeah, I heard something too, but it was vague and muffled. I think it's over there, dipping in the grapevines. The Star of Hermes is so quick to act upon her thoughts. I follow her, stepping deeper into the vine-laden arbor until we find a door left ajar. An unintentional but fortuitous encounter.
Yeah.
It is Atticus. I haven't seen him in so long. She spots our childhood friend, his pale face obscured beneath a mop of light blonde hair. 6 is talking to Atticus. I heard Atticus hardly come out during his retreat, unlike 6, who does so every other week. Now you don't have to worry about 6. She may look pale, but at least she has the strength to talk. She's just delayed a bit because she's talking with Atticus. Despite 37's words, it's clear 6's health is more fragile than before. Her face is paler than Atticus's, and her voice is faint, merging into the air like gentle rain through the water. I can see her lips moving, but I can't hear her voice. She reaches out her hand, weakly grasping the hem of Atticus' shirt, and pulls back. 6's all have similar appearances, with the talents depending on hereditary blood, blonde hair, slender figures, pale skin, and wizened eyes. They're like idols carved from the same mold, perfect reflections of a flawless lineage. She leans forward, a posture not easy for her in the current state. Our friend Atticus remains standing upright, his eyes looking into space as if indifferent and utterly devoid of respect. I'm not sure if there's fear in those eyes, but I'm certain of the anger echoing in my chest in reaction to this rude silence. It is an irritation not easily soothed. Disregard, it is the greatest disrespect and insult, a taste like bad wine. I've tasted it before, and coincidentally that bad wine was also a gift from this very cold statue that stands before me. I could forgive his rudeness towards me, but he shouldn't treat 6 this way. 6 has always selflessly guided us in the pursuit of truth, setting us straight when the path forward is not clear. On top of that, she's Atticus's aunt. Oh, so the sister of the mother took the role after that. After the previous 6 returned to the truth, she took over, caring for Atticus as a mother would.
Huh?
That sculpted young hand, covering the slightly wrinkled one, pulls the hem free. So disrespectfully, so rude. Atticus draws away and steps through the narrow door. The gaze from his skin follows him in silence until it's cut off by the door panel. What are you doing here? Surprise flickers across his face. He looks strangely tired. We have more right to be here than you. It's the 3rd weekend of the month and an even date. Oh, so it's always important to him because he gets to meet the leader. Okay. I see. He nods absently, intending to leave without another word. Stop. He shouldn't be allowed to just slip away without any criticism. My anger is more than just justified. He shouldn't have done that to her. To treat the island's leader this way, a wise person, his own kin and elder, in failing health. How could he do this? How? I'm curious, do you even have any self-awareness? What do you mean? I think my question is clear enough. I meet Atticus's gaze, more than satisfied that I've finally broken his calm.
My friend.
Atticus, my friend. Everyone on this island knows that you were born at 6 and are destined to become the leader of Apeiron. Destined to receive the revelation. Do you even understand the weight of the blessing? 210, I don't have time for your debate.
No.
This isn't a debate. I'm trying to offer you some help. I have narrowed in on him. No more room for him to evade me. A mission bestowed from the heavens. You will receive a great number and become the mediator between excess and deficit.
In fact,
the amalgamation of knowledge and wisdom of every 6 since the inception of Apeiron will, without any arduous drilling, enter your mind the moment you receive your number. You will make a great leap. Do you think I need you to explain the concept to me? It certainly felt like it. I snort out a laugh like a true victor. Atticus is different today. His usual evasiveness is gone, replaced by anxiety. This suits me. Try to seize on the gap, like prying open an oyster to expose its insides to the sea air. Now, looking back at the moment, I can't deny that I lost control. But it wasn't a day to be defeated, least of all by him. So, should I point out your attitude towards 6? She's weaker than before. You shouldn't treat her like this. Cut out your damn rhetoric. What are you trying to say? Hear that? The oyster shell has cracked. What a great day to be favored by the truth. This is simply too easy. Your disrespect towards her. She's a 6, one who possesses wisdom, balance, and wholeness. As a fine leader, she manages everything on the island with great efficiency. She cares for the children, connects with the public, and treats you as her own. She has taken all the duties of your late mother. She's intelligent, courageous, and shares willingly with everyone. She's a role model for 6's. As for you, Atticus, you don't deserve the revelation. You lack the willingness to share knowledge and the talent to lead, and you haven't, and you won't fulfill your obligations. You cannot bear this blessing. You're unworthy of it. He suddenly falls silent. So you think the revelation is a blessing? Shocked. I didn't expect him to focus his sights on a mere turn of phrase.
of course.
We seek the truth, and the truth lies in wisdom. It's not just me, all the brothers and sisters of Apeiron think like this. That's why I respect 6. He remains standing upright, but I notice his shoulder drooping slightly as if some invisible weight presses upon them. The revelation is a curse, my friend. As Ziz hangs his head, I almost read it like nodding, as if he's nodding to himself. This isn't what I want at all. My oyster has shriveled into a pebble. You're right. She's perfect. She's 6. A complete number, perfect person, an outstanding leader. 6's are always like that. He turns away, sidestepping my obstructing arm, and walks towards the exit where light streams from beyond the grapevine arbor. So 210 is like bearing everybody's beliefs on his shoulders in a way. See, 37, Atticus, and Sophia are not that brainwashed by the general public of the island. Like, okay, 37 does believe also in the same things that the whole island does. Sophia is trying to learn, and Atticus tries to find a different way, I guess. Like, you can see that he wants to change things, okay? But he feels it's inevitable. Like, that's why I guess he smiled when Sophia was trying to defeat the inevitable. 37 is the one closest, I guess, to the way the island works mentally. But at the same time, she's not thinking like everybody else. She's in her own world. Like, yeah, I'm following the rules of the island. Yes, I believe in the same things that you guys do, but I do it in my own way, you know? Now, 210 is pretty much representing, for me at least, he represents the way the island acts as a whole. He's showing us the actual belief of the island in ways that the others can't. Like, the others told us the theory, like what are our rules, what are our beliefs, but he is being the belief in itself that everybody else has in one person. So now I'm wondering if his his dislike of 6 before the debate, that he mentioned that, oh, 210 was never treating me kindly before the whole thing. Perhaps he always thought that Atticus was not good enough to be a 6. But after recognized by everyone else, I guess, he couldn't go against it. Now he is a leader, now he does have the revelation. So now he does consider him equal, but because of the revelation, because of the wisdom that was never his from the beginning, I no longer think he respects 6 as a person anymore. Like Atticus, sorry. I keep forgetting because now in this timeline, 6 is his aunt. I don't think 210 respects Atticus as a person. He respects the wisdom he's gained, if it makes sense. I know I'm overanalyzing this, but I'm a writer. I'm sorry. I'm just trying to explain my point of view and keep theorizing on the way what's the relationship between 210 and 6. But yeah, it's complicated. That's why this is good writing. This is why I'm saying Reverse is such a fine written game, because human relationships are complicated and this makes so much sense. But anyway, yeah, let's keep going. A demonstration. You little cute butterfly.
This new dish tastes wonderful. Why has no one thought of putting fruit in sour yogurt before?
Oh, they've been laid, because we've been doing this for a while. I'm glad you like it. I learned the combination before coming to this island.
If you ask me, the flavor tastes just like 143. 11 and 13 are both good numbers, and together they factor into another excellent number.
It was an ordinary day in all respects. Sophia and I grabbed some food and lounged by the gazebo in the square.
Well.
Nice. Another compliment true to your style.
Oh.
I didn't realize you were here too. Of course, so did 210.
Keep your head down, 210.
No.
Please. This is hardly an appropriate time, 37. Although I think the number 210 is significantly overestimated by the public, I wouldn't hate a walking grapevine stand. Oh, I just realized what that is. Okay, so the first part we did was Sophia's point of view on Atticus. 2 was 210's point of view, and now we're seeing 37's point of view on 210, I think. Let's see.
It's been a while since I ate the grapes on your head. They're still so sweet. I'm thinking of grabbing a few more to try them in this yogurt.
Please, 37, we're not kids anymore. No more leaping up to snatch grapes from my head like old times. It's undignified.
Oh, don't be like that. I like grapes and other fruits. I like the blend of tart and sweet flavors. Carrying around grapes is one of your few endearing qualities. Don't downplay it.
I love them. Sophia, why are you smiling?
Just think.
Nothing, just feeling nostalgic. It's been ages since we've been all together for a meal like this. It reminds me of when we were younger. Back then, we had few responsibilities and more time to just be together. We'd meet up for meals now and then, and even head to the beach for some fun.
Well,
As I recall, it was that gift that first brought the four of us together.
Yes.
Right, the gift I gave to Atticus. I was new to the island then, and Atticus had been so helpful to me, so I decided to make him a hat out of Anatolian fabric. Oh, so is Sophia like Asia Minor character, an Asia Minor character? I shouldn't be thinking like pre-war Greek history. This is way older. But yeah, I understand. So she's not 100% Greek, is she? An Anatolian. It's because his hair has gotten so long, always falling over his eyes and getting in the way of his reading. Star of Hermes gave us a great suggestion. It's only when we look back that we realize how far we've come. Oh, so it's everybody's point of view, okay? Talking about the past brings us some joy.
A scarf or hat is too plain. It fades over time and lacks geometric beauty. We should give him a diadem headpiece, a sturdy and slender one. That way, it won't be too hot in the summer or get damp in the rainy season.
Stretching out my hands, I make a fitting triangular shape with the index fingers and thumbs of both hands.
And the equilateral triangles are the best shape. It would make a unique gift. It's just a pity that the plan fell through.
That's why I always say Atticus should thank me. The other intent has begun to eat the grapes draping from his head as well, a sure sign that he's beginning to relax. It was me who met you in front of the blacksmith shop and reshaped the crown to a more angular circle.
given that,
Otherwise, it always hurt himself when you bumped into things.
No, not at all. Comfort is pointless. The essential beauty of mathematics is far more important, like the clothes we wear.
Regardless, he accepted my gift and the crown indeed helped keep his hair in place.
Perhaps?
Maybe I can volunteer to deliver Atticus's meal today, bring him some fruit and yogurt, and have a chat with him.
No.
Not today. After finishing my fruit and yogurt, I have other things I must do. I've planned it all out and set the time earlier.
That task has already been assigned to me today.
Oh goodness.
This is my first time on meal delivery duty.
I'm sorry, I just don't know who's talking every time because there's no name in front of it. But now it must be 37.
Most of the time, I'm preoccupied with much more demanding tasks. It required me to spend some time explaining my reasons. 6.
37?
He must be surprised by my arrival. As surprised as when he first heard me call him 6 instead of Atticus. I have something I want to talk to you about. You can eat while listening. I cross the porch and then stoop to pass through the low inner door. His retreat room is dim, cramped, and completely windowless. The floor is littered with books, some open, some closed. Placing the meal on the small table, I sit down across from Atticus. This is fruit with sour yogurt, combination Sophia learned from the outside. It tastes very much like 143, the best way.
thank you.
I scanned the book 6 is reading, Euclid's Elements, nothing more than a basic primer in our school. A small hill of books lies beside him, their edges showing signs of having been turned. He must have read them all. But why are you here? It's not your job to deliver meals in those in retreat. Is there something you need of me? He ponders and seems to answer his own question wordlessly. He seems different from usual.
I'm not good to debates outside of proofs, but you've always been so smart and precise. 210's reasoning is too absurd and flowery, and Sophia's answers feel too mild. 6 is just right to answer such question. The biggest 6 lacks spare time, always talking about the ship, too busy to even stop for a moment. So I came to you, the smaller 6, as opposed to the bigger 6.
Atticus seems to have finally gotten used to me calling him 6. But many people on the island still call him Atticus. They say they can't be 2 6's on the island at the same time. She will make time for you. She values you all. She's better at exploring this kind of issues.
But
You're just not one for talking. It's not that you're bad at thinking.
She's the current 6.
Makes no difference to me. She was a 6, and so are you.
You're the same in essence.
My questions are ready, but the path forward isn't smooth. This is a common occurrence in calculations, but I won't be discouraged by it. If one path is blocked, take a detour. If all paths are blocked, climb through the bushes.
Bushes and walls of books aren't all that different. I know how to climb past them to reach my destination. 26 thinks I should overlook the process of proof. I know that. My mother taught me the same. Steps should be printed on paper and actualized to give more meaning to the results. But 26 believes that even proof leading to a wrong result should be documented. To me, that seems inexplicable. Everyone knows that the result of a proof is what matters most. A proof that wrong shouldn't even exist from the start, like your elements. It wouldn't include false theorems. I think he's wasting time. Focusing on such trivialities only distracts from our judgment of true essence. But I can't decide whether I'm right or wrong. I need your help.
He closes elements and turns towards me. I suddenly realize it's been a long time since we last met. His blue eyes are becoming more like those of 6.
Yes, as they should. 6's are the same in essence.
You mean 26, the sincere man who, in his youth, led the children of Apper into their training, including you and me? 37, why do you need to know the right or wrong in this?
What kind of question is that? Everything ought to have an answer. I just want to know it. That's all.
He smiles and shakes his head. Words kill the essence. I think 26 just wanted to keep a record of your trials and errors to inform future seekers. He's always valued the passing down of knowledge, and you were always a trailblazer. You're sincere but also clumsy. He probably quickly forgot his original purpose when he came to you. Perhaps you both lost sight of each other's motives in the argument. Did you quarrel? She's shocked, like, how did you know?
6 is right. It wasn't a pleasant debate between 26 and me. Since Sophia's arrival, I've not seen anyone give me that kind of look. Alright, I understand about 26's mindset. But I still want to know, is there any value in the proof with conclusion that turns out to be wrong? Occasionally, such question would cause 6 to ponder briefly, but now, his response is swift. Looks like I'm in luck.
37, value is relative.
Objection.
Well, it shouldn't be. People do only value proof because it's correct. If there is no measure for judgment, why do we distinguish right from wrong at all? I actually don't care about the answer to this question. It's irrelevant to mathematics. But debates over definitions are always my weakness. Though I'm convinced that I'm right, I fail to convince others. Numbers are solid and reliable, while language is vague and unclear. People argue endlessly over rhetoric and semantics, shifting focus away from the essence of things. 6 is the best of us at these questions. He always finds a fable that makes things simple and understandable. I wait for 6 to tell me a fable so that the next time I get into a debate, I can come up with a perfect example.
I'm sorry, 37. I can't help you with that right now. 6 shifts his gaze away, turns a page, and adjusts the angle of the crown pressing on his head. It looks like it would make a fine paperweight. The metallic triangle is certainly more ideal than fabric in that role.
I can't wait for you to finish your page.
No.
It's not about the page. I truly don't know how to answer your question. Or maybe I'm searching for that answer too. I watch him close the book, sliding it back into the mountain of others.
Oh.
So when you're done reading all these books, will you have the answer?
He doesn't know, girl. I don't know. But it's better to try something than do nothing at all. Hey, here's Sophia's mindset. That doesn't sound like his usual style, and I feel like I've heard it somewhere else. See? He really has changed. It's strange. Can appearances change so noticeably while the essence remains the same? There must be a key to this.
So, is this a proof you have to give?
One that requires a room full of books and a long retreat? The ultimate proof?
Yeah.
Then you should have told me earlier. I don't want to be taken by Abraxas and be tied to a rock to have my ass picked out by vultures.
This is the part where you have to laugh, my dude.
No.
It's not that serious. I'm just contemplating the nature of 6. Maybe this is indeed a proof one about my own number.
But you already know the answer. What's there left to prove?
6's answer seems to wait on a breath. He flips through the book with a faint smile. In that lies a whole other question entirely. 37. Does a proof with a correct conclusion have any value?
In that single phrase, 6's utterly bewildered me. I'm 37, he's 6, right from birth. Neither of us ever proved our numbers, but we simply know the answer to be right. It's enough. The essence cannot change. So why would 6 ask such a question? It's a needless worry, a waste of effort.
Now this makes me wonder if 37 also got her number from her mother, because she said they had their numbers from birth, whereas others have to find it through their life, like 210 found out later in life, Sophia is still looking for it, and Atticus was destined to have number 6 because of his mother and aunt. But I suddenly feel I shouldn't disturb him anymore. The work of a proof mustn't be interrupted or hindered. That's a rule everyone knows. He escorts me to the door of his retreat room, and I stoop again to pass through the low inner door. This door, obstructing vision as well as movement, makes it feel more like a cave than a doorway. It makes a retreat seem even more sealed off.
Yeah, okay, I'm out.
I can't clearly recall how I bid farewell to 6, or whether he cautioned me to watch my step. I know I didn't get a straight answer from him. Only another question was tacked on. One that left me confused and a little dizzy. Fortunately, just as I leave the cave and feel the night sea breeze, a solution that I had disregarded earlier comes back to me. A perfectly timed epiphany. I hurry home to write it down. On the way, I cross paths with Sophia again. She expresses some concern for 6 and asks me about it. Does he read a lot? Is he still in good health? Is he working on a proof? What kind of proof is it? He has read many books, as many as a small mountain. His health is fine, he eats well and breathes evenly. I know nothing of his proof, but in any case, it seems to be proof about himself.